Good evening, everybody, and just thought I'd have a different view, turn the camera around a little bit and have a different background. I'm still at my desk, but I'm the other way round tonight. So just thought we all deserved a bit of fun and laughter tonight. So I thought I would hop on, and I've got a few props, and I have got hi Juliet, nice to see you. Did you miss me last night? Sorry, I was taking a break and getting an early night. I needed to refresh and relax. Hi Billy, hi Juliet. And so I thought that tonight, hi Paul, tonight we ought to have a bit of fun and laughter. I've been having a few issues, you know, with some people not being very nice, who ought to know better. Won't go into the details, just decided that actually laughter's the best medicine, and let's have some fun and laughter tonight. I have had an interesting day. I went out this afternoon. You can see I'm getting ready for Easter. But I went out this afternoon to see somebody. It wasn't a definite arrangement, but the chap said, oh, pop down. I'm going to be doing some Twitter training. And there's a chap who's going to let me, hi Clarissa, there's a chap who's going to let me use, he's got an area down in Ryde in Union Street, and he said that I could come in there and do my, no, it's not a filter. It's not a filter at all. It's actually, I've been to Poundland. I'll tell you all about it. So I went down, this chap I met the other day through networking, and he said that he's having a new place in Ryde, and I would be able to do my Twitter training in there for people who want it. But it wasn't a definite arrangement. He said he'd be there this afternoon. So I went down to Ryde this afternoon. And he wasn't there. Obviously, you know, he'd had other plans, and we hadn't, as I say, a definite arrangement, so it didn't matter. But I decided that I wasn't going to be thwarted, and I wasn't going to go home because, you know, I'd made the effort to go into town. And I know that some of you like those lovely little inspirational books that I read from, which are the ones I usually read from are not, they're over there. The things like, actually, let me get them. Well, I should have had my props ready, shouldn't I? Whoops. Here we go. Can't really see. These little inspirational books that I read from, sometimes you are amazing, always look on the bright side. And I know that a lot of you like those. So I decided that I was going to go into the shop where I got them. You like the headgear, Paul? Good. Yes, I saw that you were in a hotel, Paul. And so anyway, thanks for the love. Hi, Elish. And sorry, so I get distracted all the time, but hey ho, it doesn't matter because all you lovely people are coming in. So yes, so these lovely little books that I read from regularly, I thought I would go and get some more, especially as I'd had a tough time this week personally. And I don't mind telling you that. I'm not going to tell you all the details. You don't need to know. You just need to know that some people are not being very nice, some people who ought to know better. But hey ho, what we do is we turn to humour and laughter to deal with it. And, you know, my dad always used to say, don't let it spoil your pretty little face. And I have my dad's wicked sense of humour. So I just thought that I would, you know, deal with it in that way. Now, what an interesting afternoon I had. So I went down to see this person who wasn't there. So I went down to number 66. Now, anybody who lives on the island, if you haven't been to number 66 in Union Street, and it's called number 66, it is 66 Union Street. Thanks, Paul. It's a beautiful gift shop, and actually, if anybody wants to know, I live streamed it this afternoon. Let's see, I tell you what, I whizzed down. Oh, I don't know if I can get the link now. Let me see if I can get the link. I live streamed, it's way down my page because I've posted loads since then. So oh, there it is. But I think if I start it, you're probably going to start talking to me. Wait a minute. I'm at number 66. Oh, hang on. Let's see. Let's get the let's get the URL and drop it in for you because hang on. Let's go back. Hi, James. So let me put in the URL from because you really need, if you don't know this shop and you live on the island or you're coming to the island, you really need to look at this shop. But if you can't, you can look in at my at the link there. And so that was a video I did this afternoon in number 66. Well, last time I was in number 66, I was standing up reading the books. They're just inside the door. Hi, Debbie. And, you know, I stood there for ages reading. But today there was a table. It was a high up table, but it was a table with high up chairs, 2 chairs. And it was evident that you can now have a cup of coffee in there. So I thought, oh, wow. Get your sleep, Karen. That's right. And you can always watch the replay. Don't worry. And so I thought, oh, right. While I'm sitting reading these books, I'm actually going to have a coffee. So I ordered a coffee. And then I said to the lovely lady, can I pay for it when I buy my books? So that was, you know, I was going to deal with it afterwards. And so I sat reading my books. But on the table too, there were some lovely items from the shop. There was some chocolate in a shaker, and it was you could actually buy it in the shop, but it was to put chocolate on the top of the coffee, and it was called Happy Dust. Absolutely lovely, you know, Happy Dust. I thought that was really I'm glad you like my festive get-up. We're having some humour tonight, Debbie. It's been a rubbish week from people being not very pleasant, as happens when you put your head above the parapet, or, you know, I mean, life in general, sometimes that happens. Decided that we've got to deal with it with laughter. Never lose your sense of humour is one thing that I always tell people. And I have my dad's wicked sense of humour, and I never, ever lost it through all the darkest days in the past. I never lost my sense of humour. And I just thought, oh, come on, we'll have a bit of fun tonight. So I went to Poundland yesterday getting ready for Easter, and I thought, oh, come on, let's get out the goodies for you know, getting ready for Easter. So I thought we'd just have a little bit of fun. I hope you noticed too that I have non-matching earrings on, and that actually brings me to I know if I'm going off a tack, I'll go back to number 66 in a minute. No, I don't. I never am. Debbie, thank you. Yeah. I need humour with Tristan. Do you mean I need humour because of Tristan, or I need to be humorous with Tristan, Debbie? I'm not quite sure which you mean, but never mind. I'll take it whichever way anyone likes. But going to the earrings reminds me. Yes, Lisa, thank you. Got your message there. So the odd earrings, I couldn't find a matching pair, and it reminded me of something way back in our oh yes, Debbie, okay. And it reminded me of something back in my youth, where Dad used to make fun of our earrings. Now, I had some earrings for Halloween once, and they were skeletons. I think they were skeletons, and my dad was always referring to my skeleton earrings. And my sister, now she has she's one who always runs and cleans her teeth, and I'm not knocking it, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but that's how she is. And she had earrings where she had a toothbrush one side and toothpaste the other side. So earrings are part of the humour from our family. Take us way back. Give me memories of my wonderful dad. So that's why when I couldn't find matching earrings, I thought, oh, let's put odd ones on, just to part of the humour and remind me of my dad. So anyway, let's go back to, whoops, I might have to take these off in a minute because I can't see very well out of them, but never mind. Let's see how I go. So this afternoon, I was in this lovely number 66 shop. Hi, Jane. Hi, Matt. And so I've been I'd been eyeing up something for a long time. And there's, I haven't got it here. I have a lovely tin called Grandma's Treats. And whenever I go to London to see my grandchildren, I usually put some treats in there. I try not to do sweets. I try to do other things. Sometimes it's sweets. Yeah. Okay, Lisa, thanks. And sorry, Lisa just sending me a message about something tomorrow. There we go. Look, can you see? I don't know if you can see them now, can you? One is, actually they are both purple. I should have chosen different colours. wonderful memories, absolutely. I live on memories. I lost my dad in 2010, but I live every day on memories, and you know, for his wonderful sense of humour and the way he guided us as we were growing up. And so you know, I just thought that was a bit of fun. Anyway, so yeah, so going back, talking about this tin, I have a grandma's treat tin, and I'd bought it in one of these lovely gift shops. Well, I had seen a tin in number 66 that I wanted to buy, but you know, I'm on a pension. I have to stretch my pension as far as I can, and you know, not a lot of other money apart from that. There is a bit, some come in, but not a huge amount, so I have to watch it. And I'd seen this lovely tin and I wanted to buy it, but I couldn't justify buying it at the moment, especially if I was buying lots of these little books, you know, these little books that I refer to often. And so I was sitting there having my coffee and I was reading some of the new little books that I was about to purchase, and a lovely gentleman came in, a gentleman called Michael. And I looked at him and I thought, I know you, but I don't know if I know you. And he wasn't sure whether he knew me or not. But anyway, we engaged in conversation because he got a coffee and he came and came to the table where I was having my coffee and reading the books. So anyway, I told him that, you know, I was just telling him about, we got into a conversation and I was talking about live streaming and why I was there, you know, because I wanted to get some more of these lovely little books. And then I got into conversation about this tin that I had got my eye on. And, you know, and it's relevant to the laughter thing tonight, you'll see in a minute. And so I said, you know, I'm going to get that one day, but... Oh, right, okay. Is Tristan in the broadcast? I don't know if I've seen him in the broadcast, but he might be here. Anyway, so this lovely gentleman disappeared and came back later, and look, this is what he came back with. The tin I had my eye on. Now, I know the writing's in reverse because we're on live stream and it reverses everything, but it's what it is, it's a medicine tin. And it says, laughter is the best medicine. And then it says, actual medicine's pretty good too. But I've always stood by the idea that laughter is the best medicine. You know, I've had difficult marriages. I've had all sorts of other situations. And I always never ever lost my sense of humour through all the dark days. So I just decided that, hey, we needed to have some fun and laughter. So this lovely guy, he went off and he bought this for me. I'd never met the man before, but we were having such fun and such banter, and I was so touched. It was just such a nice thing to do, especially after the rubbish that had been going on recently, you know, more difficult rubbish than the rubbish that usually goes on in the background, you know, because it seems that there's always somebody who wants to spoil things whenever things start going well. But, you know, that's life. I've got to the age of 67. It's a roller coaster life. I know that. It's never going to change. I just hang on to the roller coaster and just go with it. Just tighten my grip and never let go. So anyway, what I decided was that this tin was going to appear regularly in my broadcast when we need a laugh and a cheer up. And so I don't know if any of you saw, but earlier this afternoon, I was asking for some people to send me some jokes. And I've had some in, and I'm not going to tell them all today, but I'm going to dip in here. And the first one to come out is a riddle. And this was one that my daughter sent me, because I rang my daughter and I asked if my grandchildren would send me some of their jokes and their fun things. And the first one was from one of the twins, and her riddle was, what has a spine but no head? And I don't know if, can anybody, I want somebody to give me the answer to that. I'm not going to say it. Some of these are jokes in my tin, but that one was, what has a spine but no head? So I'm sure somebody will come up with the answer with that one. I'll leave it for you to answer in the comments. And then I'll go on to another. Well done, Debbie. That's right. Yes, it's a book. And that was the twins are 10. So that was some of our, our grandchildren's humour. And the same twin, only one of my grandchildren has come up with anything so far, but she came up with this one, And this is another joke. Why are pirates called pirates? And I wonder if anybody can come up with the answer for that one. Anybody know why are pirates called pirates? And I love it. I just love having that childish humour. And actually, well done, Debbie. Yes, I think, hey, you've been studying all the joke books. Yes. Why are pirates called pirates? Because they are. Perhaps I should have pirate hat on, really. I should change my hats with the jokes, but there you go. Okay, and the same grandchild gave me another one. Why was 6 afraid of 7? And see if anybody can come up with that one. I'm just going to share this while I'm just on here. Let's share. So why was... you've got 3... Oh, no wonder you know all the jokes. How old are the children, Debbie? How old are your children? Let's have a look. Let's put this over on... why was 6 afraid of 7? Yeah, that's right. Yes, you're right. There we go. There's the answer, because 7, 8, 9. There you go. So... hang on, I'm just going to share this on another page as well. Yes, you're right. So because 7, 8, 9. So that was from my grandchildren. And then I have some other things in here. I had quite a few jokes. I asked people to send them to me. 13, 11 and 4. Oh, right. Yeah, Debbie. So you probably know all the jokes that are going. I asked people to send me the jokes in my message box. And this was while I was on my way after my afternoon out. I thought I was going out and I was going to then come home, and my I had been doing some knitting to relax, because I find that very therapeutic. And I messaged my brother David and said that I was doing my knitting and how was he and whatever. And he said, oh, there's a craft evening at his church tonight, so would I like to go? So I went to the craft evening, and I'll show you what I made in a minute. So I'd gone into ride, come home, had half an hour at home, and then had to zoom out. So while I was on the bus going to Newport, I put into my onto my Facebook page that I wanted jokes, and so people were sending me jokes while I was on the bus on the way to Newport. And this is a joke from my friend Mo, and Mo is a wonderful photographer, and she's got some beautiful work which I will have to share with you and show you on here. But right at the moment I'm going to say, what type of music do balloons hate? Can anybody answer that one? I mean, none of these are terribly taxing, so you know you don't have to have a degree in anything to come up with these answers. I'm sure somebody can find that. So you know, there's a few more bits in my tin. My laughter is the best medicine. So we got a few things here. Well done, Debbie. Yes, absolutely. What type of music do balloons hate? Pop. You're right. And then. Now this one is not, it's just a statement, this one. Another one, this is another one from Mo. She gave me more than a couple. There's more, but I'm going to save some of them for another day. She said, I saw an athlete run 100 meters in 15 seconds while carrying a drum on his back. I thought that would be hard to beat, and that made me smile. So you know, that was Mo's sense of humour. Tina came up with one. I don't know. This sounds almost rude, but it isn't rude. It sounds a bit rude, but I didn't want rude. It's what's brown and sticky, and I'm sure Debbie, you'll come up with this one too. And then while you're coming up with the answer for that, I put a few fun things in the tin as well, because what I like to do is knit for charity, and I decided that maybe I would put some cakes into the tin, some knitted cakes, a nice knitted eclair, a nice piece of a stick. Yeah, that's right, a brown stick. So that was the right answer. There aren't any prizes. I'm sorry, Debbie, but you know, I can give you a clap for the answers. Thank you. So you know, nice piece of Swiss roll, a Bakewell tart. And anybody for a sandwich. There we go. So that is the contents of the laughter box tonight, because I didn't have a lot of time to get a lot in it, because I only got home at 9:30. But while I was out, and I think I might not have to take the glasses off. Maybe I can see. While I was out in this wonderful shop, I saw, and I don't know if any of you know these books, the Enid Blyton books. They're based on the Enid Blyton books we had as children, the famous 5, and they were books that we used to read as children. But there's now been a big take on them, a fun take on them. Excuse me. And this one, I just had to buy it. I don't know if you can read the title of it. It says 5 Get Gran Online. So the famous 5 Get Gran Online. Now, I thought it was hilarious because I am a granny who sort of breaks the rules. Hi, Calder. Lots of people my age are still a little bit wary of the internet, but of course I've been on the internet. Hi, Katrina. I've been on the internet for a long time. So seeing this take on 5 Get Gran Online, I thought I had to read this, and I had to buy it. And I'm going to read you the first chapter, and I hope that you find it amusing. It's right. 5 Get Cybersecurity Conscious. It had been a long, harrowing year of fake news, online abuse, misogynist doxing, ransomware attacks and state-sponsored cyber terrorism. Like many others, Julian, Anne, George and Dick felt the world was becoming a colder and harsher place for no reason that they could really understand or control. The devices that ordinary people relied on to live their lives were being turned into weapons against them, and one morning in early autumn, Anne, Dick and George found themselves sitting in the kitchen at the kitchen table, being subjected to yet another lecture from Julian. It's all about security, he said for the 3rd time. Anne was painting her nails and George was reading a piece about Gamergate on her phone, while Dick flicked through Anne's discarded Stylist magazine with a look of profound mystification. Sorry, I can't read very well with these things on. You never know when they'll get you, Julian went on. We must be vigilant at all times, so I hope you've updated your software protection. No point, said Anne. If they want to get you, they'll get you. What do you mean? Asked Julian. Also, what's this ice cream doing out of the freezer? It's not ice cream, said George, it's bolognese. Look at the writing on the top. Actually, that writing's out of date, said Anne. It's really rhubarb crumble in there. I don't know why it's out of the freezer, though. Oh, sorry, said Dick. It won't fit anymore. Had to make room for my laptop. They all stopped what they were doing and looked at him. It's the new thing, he said. I read somewhere if you really don't want your computer to get hacked... Oh, don't be ridiculous, said Julian. We don't have to be that paranoid. Haven't you been reading the paper? George asked. Almost any household item is at risk these days. They can activate your phone even if it's not on. The CIA can use your coffee machine to spy on you. Well, I'm glad it's good for something, said Julian. It certainly doesn't make the coffee. But George had touched a nerve. Julian put his lecture on hold for the moment and sat down to do some research. Within minutes, he was saucer-eyed with paranoia. I had no idea it was this bad, he said, jumping up. It's outrage, a gross intrusion, a breach of my fundamental human rights. The others had already returned to painting their nails and reading. Right, said Julian. There's nothing else for it. I'm going to live in the Australian outback. Don't be stupid, said Anne. You can't afford the plane fare. And they have spiders the size of your face, said George. You hate spiders. Fine, Julian marched to his room and emerged 15 minutes later in hiking boots and with a waterproof zipped up to his nose. On his back was a rucksack bulging with his possessions. I can't stand this oppression, said his muffled voice. I'm leaving. I'll head north and make a new life for myself in the wilds of the Lake District or the Peak District, if they're not the same thing. What is that noise? That's the stupid text alert on your new phone, George said. I've told you to change it. Oh, said Julian, dumping his rucksack on the floor and peeling the waterproof hood back from his scalp. He sat to look at it. It's another of those weird texts I keep getting, he said, putting his phone aside. They've been 6 now from the same number. They're freaking me out. I've been getting those as well, said Anne, blowing on her nails. They're so annoying. I assume they're from some scammer, all in broken English, of course. Me too, said Dick. Isn't it odd? Usually I try to mess with them, said Julian. I reply something like, please tell me more about your exciting Viagra offer and I will send bank details. Wait a minute, said George. What are you talking about? Spam texts, said Anne. Don't you get them? Of course I don't, said George. There's no such thing. Can I see? Anne showed hers and so did Dick. But these are from the same number, said George, looking from one phone to the other, mystified. Checking Julian's phone, she found his were from the same number too. Listen to this, George read aloud. How much, and it's all broken English, how much see you, miss you, will see you when, love. And how about this from Dick's phone? Love much under 8 hand, not make it, but before Christmas. I think it's supposed to say Christmas. It's gibberish. Gibberish, said Julian, plain and simple. Pay attention, Julian, said George testily. It's the same person trying to contact all three of you. If it was a scammer, the numbers would be different. It can't be coincidence. For instance, this from your phone, Julian. Many returns, present coming, see me. This is ringing a bell, George said ominously, and rather than speculate about it any further, she typed the number into her phone to see if it was recognised and instinctively pressed dial. Oh my goodness, she said, as they heard the brrr of the ringing tone at the other end. Why didn't I think of her? Who? Asked Dick. Yes, who? Said Julian. Tell us, for Pete's sake. Hello, said a tiny voice from the phone. Hello, I can't hear. Who is this? Is anyone there? Hi, Granny B, said George, putting the phone to her ear. The others, looking at each other, gasped in joint shock and wonderment. It had been more than 20 years since they had seen or heard from her. Granny B, they'd managed to forget a whole grandparent. And it amused me. I hope it amused me. It amused me even more because it's Granny B. And of course I am Granny B. So that was the first chapter in 5 Get Gran Online. So I'm intrigued. I've only read the first chapter. I'm intrigued to see what else goes on with getting Granny Online. So I shall read that a bit later on. And so I thought that was quite fun. I hope you found that amusing. I have another book, the Granny book. Enjoy a giggle. Yeah, absolutely. Wait a minute. Hang on. What she put? What do you call a man who has lost 90% of his intelligence? Anybody else want to answer that one? Let's see if anybody can come in with the answer to that one. While anybody's looking for the answer for that one, I'm going to read from the Granny book. I have I am a granny. I'm a fun-loving granny. I go and look after my grandchildren from time to time. I was recently up there, totally exhausted by the time I got back, but then I did take the children out, 4 of them on wheels across a main road and along a street to a very small shop. So oh yes, I like it, Debbie, well done. So I just thought there's one here called Granny's Games. I'm not sure that this is really me, but it is a granny. My granny loves to play at games. I'm sure she likes Snap best. She has great fun. She may win one, but I bet I win the rest. Poor granny's sight is not too good. Is that a king or jack? Is that a 4 or is it more? Oops, snap, I've won the pack. At drafts we are a better match. It's not the game I'd choose. My every plan seems known to Gran, and in the end I lose. I must confess I've been a cheat, for just once when Granny dozed, I pinched her king so I could win. I hope her eyes were closed. And there's all sorts of fun pictures. There's a lot of fun things about grannies in here. That it amuses me. It's a book I've discovered recently. I had it many years ago when I was a teacher. £2.75 it cost, and I was a teacher and I used to read it. But now I'm a granny. It's even more fun. So, right, yeah. So the other thing that happened today. When I was in number 66, I decided to buy my brother. My brother David has just he's just retired, and there was a fun little book, one of these little books about retirement, and so I bought it for him. And it's got lots of funny things about retirement. I haven't got it here now, so I can't read it because I gave it to him tonight. But I also bought his wife a present, and then I needed to go across, hang on, what's this one? What do you call a man who has lost most of his intelligence? Oh, married. You gave the answer too quickly, Nigel. You didn't give anybody a chance to answer the question. Never mind, that's fun. Keep them coming. And actually, what I would love is for you to send me some into my inbox, so I can fill the laughter tin. Those of you, I don't know if anybody late coming into the broadcast, laughter is the best medicine. We're putting the jokes into the tin, and so I could have some more for next time. And if you weren't here in the broadcast, some very nice gentleman bought this for me. I've been eyeing this tin up, and I was speaking to a lovely gentleman in the shop, having some banter, and he went off and bought that for me, and it was just so lovely. So I thought I would pay it forward by sharing some fun. You know, he paid it forward to me. I thought I would share some fun with you and pay it forward. So yeah, so after I've been in number 66, I wanted to go. I bought a present for my sister-in-law as well, and I wanted some daffodils. I bought her a little crate of 6 mini milk bottles, because where I was sitting in the shop, they'd got one of these, and they put daffodils in it, and I thought, oh, that's nice. I'll nip across to Sainsbury's, which is just on the other side of the road, and I will get some daffodils and take her a present as well. And so I was doing that, and as I was crossing the road, now I know I'm a little old lady with a shopping trolley. I have Lilac Lil, because actually Lilac Lil is my lilac shopping trolley, and she helps me walk. I don't walk so well on my own, and I don't carry stuff very easily anymore. And so Lilac Lil serves a great purpose. I put everything in Lilac Lil and then use her. Hello, Alan. And so I was waiting to cross the road, and some guy came up behind me. And it turns out he came out from the shop behind, and the shop was Mia for Men. We have two shops two Mia shops in Union Street in Ryde. We have the Mia ladies shop, and then more recently the Mia men's shop opened. And this guy came out of there, and he said, oh, can I help you across the road? And he had a big grin on his face, and I didn't know him, but I said, well, you can if you like to, because I did want to go across the road. I wasn't a lady not wanting to go across the road, you know, like some of the jokes are. So he put his hand up and he stopped the traffic and he helped me across the road. And as we're going across the road, he said, I watch your live streams. So I keep meeting people all over the place who I don't know, but they know me because I go on live stream, which shows you it really, really works and builds, you know, it builds your audience. And some nights I've had up to 200 people in these broadcasts. So I hope I'm doing some good, you know, maybe my purpose of doing this is to inspire, educate and entertain. So if I do any one of those to any one person, my mission is accomplished. I get people who criticise me for it. I get people who tell me I'm not BBC standard or whatever. I told one of them the other day that actually as a 67-year-old granny, there was no way I was going to go and do an interview for the BBC anytime soon. So I do know how to answer these people. I've had criticism ever since I've ever put my face on camera, but you know, it won't stop me anytime soon. In fact, that sort of thing just makes me do it all the more. I do have a bit of devilish in me that my dad, look, can you see these? They're slipping down my nose. Anyway, so this gentleman, we had banter. Of course, what I do is every time I meet these people who know me but I don't know them, I make them stop and have a selfie with me. So I'll be putting that selfie up. I'll be putting up the selfie of the lovely guy who bought the laughter tin for me. That was just so nice. He also bought me another cup of coffee. It was just lovely. That's right, exactly, Debbie. That's what I say. If they don't like it, don't watch. And I know when I didn't broadcast last night, and there's somebody in the broadcast now, I won't identify, but I didn't broadcast last night. I was tired and I wanted to get an early night, so I thought I really needed to just go and get organised and get to bed early. And one of my audience put a sad face up. So I feel like actually I do make a difference sometimes, and I do help people and make them laugh. I mean, last Saturday, I managed to spend 5 hours in Tesco's. I don't know if any of you were in the broadcast last Saturday. I managed 5 hours in Tesco's. I was going up and down every aisle, and I was looking at everything because I hadn't been in there for a long time. And I ended up at a frozen carrot, in front of the frozen carrots, just minding my business and getting my frozen goods. And this guy said to me, "You're Lynn, aren't you?" It's amazing what happens in the frozen food aisle. And I said to him, "Do I know you?" And he said, I don't know if he's watching in now, but he's one of the guys who watches on a fairly regular basis. And so, you know, I mean, I have up to 200 people. It doesn't always identify who's watching. It will identify some of you, and especially if you make comments, and that's nice. I can obviously talk to you if you're making comments and I know you're there. Otherwise, I know there's lots of people come in, and so he was. It turned out that he was one of my Facebook friends that we hadn't met, but of course he knew I was Lynn because he'd been watching me. And actually I keep meeting all these lovely people who've been part of the audience, and now I'm actually meeting them in, you know, for real. And you know, one of the things I do live streaming for particularly is because why I started a lot of it. I've got a page called Isle of Wight Live, and hi David, and I started that page because we needed to get the Isle of Wight out more. Now tonight, when I was over at this doing this craft evening with my brother and my sister-in-law, with David and Sandra, somebody said to me, and I didn't know the lady. I might have met her before. I didn't think I know her. She said, "Thank you for live streaming the carnivals because I can't get out to see them." And you know, it just makes it so worthwhile if it's something that I can do to help. Thank you, Juliet. That's a nice thing to, you know, that's a nice thing to say. I think the thing is, if you are kind and nice to people, like I try to be, I treat people like I like to be treated. Unfortunately, you know, not everybody is like that. And I'm not saying I'm perfect by any manner of means. We all have our issues. We all have things we can do better. But I do know that I am building an audience, part of which is attracting more people. Some of my audience now want to come to the Isle of Wight for a holiday. And so if I get a few more people on the island, that's a bit more, you know, coming into our local economy, because we have had issues getting people onto our beautiful island. And, you know, our economy depends on you lovely people coming to see us. So I know even a few people have talked about coming to the island. So I do a lot of live streaming around the island. I don't always walk around like this. Sometimes I do. You know, I think it's all about having fun. Life is so short. You know, I'm lucky I've reached 67. I have no idea where I'm going, you know, while there's breath in my body to live stream, I'm going to be live streaming and having fun. You know, who knows? I might go on to 100, I might not. None of us know. None of us have a crystal ball. So what is important is that we actually live life to the full. And in my bios, I put, you know, on my Twitter account, on my LinkedIn account and that, I am a fun-loving granny. And, you know, I love being a granny. I love doing the other things. I wouldn't like to be full-time granny, you know, because I still, hi Billy, I still have a lot of things that I like to do, but I get energized by all of you. If you didn't come into the broadcast and didn't chat to me, I'd be sitting talking to my phone with no interaction. So, you know, the fact that I am single, I don't miss any company. I don't ever feel lonely. There's never any reason to feel lonely. Because I have all your wonderful audience out there. And as I say, some nights it's 100 viewers, sometimes it's up to 2. We've had up to 200 recently. And as I say, I keep meeting these people now who say, see, the trouble is now, if I wanted to go out and I didn't want to be recognised, I'd have to dress up and hide myself. But I don't mind because I'm a networker. And that's what I do. Yeah, Billy, it's all about, look, yes, these, and if you want some to match, Poundland. So Poundland, and look, you can actually make the chicks go down. Look. Marvellous. Oops, now I can't get them up again. Look, So there we go. And then I got my boppers here because I'm getting ready for Easter, and I just thought we have to have fun. Hi, Darren. Tonight was absolutely. Billy, I feel like that now. Although, I mean, you know, it is. I just want to bring the community together. I want to help other people have more fun. You know, I've got lots of people, not lots of people, but quite a few people being not very nice, and they actually, if they were nicer and kinder, they would release the oxytocin, and they would, you know, all the happy hormones. And the nicer you are to people, I mean, you know, science is proving it. I was looking and watching a lot of YouTube things. If you punch kindness into YouTube, you will find all sorts of TED Talks about people talking about kindness and all the lovely feelings that you get. Because I know that when I do something that I regard as kind to somebody, it makes me feel good, but then I get a lovely reaction from the other people the other way, and it's a win-win. And I don't understand why people have to be the way they are, why they see people as competition. You know, I've got people in the same industry as me, you know, in the social media world. There's lots of us, and there's some of them who see me as competition, but I can't do all the work for everybody. I have a struggle to keep up with my own. I do manage other people's accounts, and thank you, Juliet. And the funny thing is, people have blocked me, but what they don't realise is they're actually talking to me because I manage other people's accounts. Absolutely, Debbie, it is so right. And that's one thing I bang on about. I've been banging on about it for years. Fortunately, more and more people are starting to get it, but there's still a long way to go. But I'm not going to give up anytime soon. You know, I run a network group, and I had a florist in my group at one stage. I mean, you know, people come and people go for all different reasons, but I had a florist, and hi Mo, and there was another florist, and she said, no, I'm not going to join your group because you've already got one florist. And I said, but that's not very sensible. I said, because you're missing out on the benefit of networking with everybody else. I'm not going to ever force anybody into my group because I don't work like that. You know, if you want my skills and my help, come into the group, and it's a bargain price for loads of content. But you know, I said, why not? Oh, that no problem, Nigel, no problem. But very nice of you to thank you for even thinking of it, Nigel. That's wonderful. And I'm glad you've got work at the moment. That's great. So anyway, what was I saying? Now you see, people tell me off. No, people who criticise tell me off when I lose my thread. But you know, I want to communicate with you. So what was I saying? I've forgotten. Just somebody remind me. Terrible. It was, I know it was about, I know about the florist. That's right. And then, and so, you know, this second florist said, no. I said, but that's ridiculous. I said, supposing 20 weddings happen on the island on the same day, can any one florist manage 20 weddings in one day? And wouldn't it be better that the weddings come to the island, you know, people get married on the island, because people do come to the island to get married, and it's great. I want to see more of that. But, you know, people, you know, one can recommend the other one, and people's styles are so different. You know, the florist that didn't want to join, she had a particular. It is nice to be nice, Nigel, and that it says that on the counter in Kiva's Cafe. It's nice to be nice, and you know, it just, it is. You know, it makes you feel good. So yeah, but so with the florist. She never did join, but the styles were very, very different of those two florists. One of my members is a local hotelier, and he sees total reason to collaborate with other hotels, because when he's full, he will recommend other hotels nearby. Far better that people go to another hotel on the Isle of Wight than actually suddenly say, oh, well, okay, I'm going to go to Cornwall or another destination, because, you know, collaborate and work, and we can have those people coming to the islands and seeing, you know, all the mad people running around like me. But you know, I don't always run around the street like this. I do run around the street dressed as a pirate sometimes. I do run around the streets, not necessarily running around, but maybe ambling around. I have been seen around the town as an elf. You know, maybe I will be an Easter bunny or whatever. I have been around the town with my bank manager. I did refer to this recently. It was National Wear Red Day, and I referred back to this. My bank manager, some years ago, he had to do a day out with one of his clients, and so he wanted to. Hang on. Very funny, Billy. Yes. But anyway, go back to my bank manager. He had to go over for a day out with his clients. Now, I knew that I didn't want to give him a boring day in the office. You see, I mean, I work from home. This is my office here. I could have sat here doing my work, and he could have sat there and watched and been totally bored all day. But that wasn't what I wanted to show him. That's from my business. So we went out on a networking day. Well, I happened to deliberately choose the Friday of that week, and Friday was Red Nose Day. And I said, "Are you up for having some fun?" And he was. And I said, "Are you up for wearing a red nose in town?" And he was. And so we went off and we did fundraising around the town. It was fundraising around the Isle of Wight, actually, not just round Ryde. And we went off on a day. It was a wet day. We were wearing red noses. I had some red fluff in my hair, like red hair. And you know, it made so many people smile. Just walking down the street in the rain with some silly red hair on makes people smile. And you know, I regard that as part of my job. If I've done that and made people smile, it really can't be bad. So back to this wonderful tin that lovely Michael that I met this afternoon bought me. He is one of number 66's regular customers, and they said, they said what a lovely man he was. Well, he was a lovely man. I met him, and he bought me this tin because I said I got my eye on it, and I thought that was really, well, it certainly put a smile on my face, and as a result, I thought, right, this tin is going to appear regularly because it's, it's the medicine tin. Look, anybody gets a bit down, we'll find something out of the medicine tin. Okay, so anybody coming late into the broadcast, laughter is the best medicine. And why is the computer so smart? Right, I'm going to let anybody else have a chance to answer. I'm sure it's easy. My brain is giving up a bit now, but I don't know. Oh, of course, it listens to its motherboard. Ha-ha, very good. Okay, and so I'm going to just show you too a couple of the little books I bought this afternoon that I will be dipping into on my other broadcasts because I do like to bring inspirational stuff. And so every cloud has a silver lining. Now, actually, how true is that? The cloud that's been going on for me, some people not being very nice, I decided to go and get some inspirational stuff as a result of the cloud, the cloud. And the silver lining is that tonight I've had a wonderful time. I met the lovely chap at Michael in the shop, and as a result, we've had some laughter in the tin. We've had all sorts of fun. I have enjoyed it. And, I forgot to show you. I must show you. So when I went out this evening to the craft evening, after having fun in the town, I've done some woodwork today. Well, I won't say I've done too much woodwork, but look what I made. Look what I made tonight. I have to say, the bits were all there. I didn't have to saw all the bits, but I've put them together. I've actually put them, used a power tool to put them together. So, and the funny thing is, this even made me laugh because my brother, hang on, I love books and books. Yeah, Billy, number 66 in Union Street. It's a lovely gift shop on the right, on the left-hand side as you go down the bottom, is where I've been getting all these lovely little inspirational books from. And so, you really need to go and have a look. And maybe when you're over, come over and have a look. Then I'll meet you in there. We can have a coffee. But yeah, going back to my my wooden basket. I think that's what it is. My brother woodwork's never been his thing. And we even had a joke and we had some laughter over that as we were reminiscing, because the last time I think he did any woodwork, now he's just retired at 65. This last month, February, he was 65 and he's retired. The last time he did woodwork was when he was at school. And he was referring to his teacher, his woodwork teacher, Mr. Hislop, and I think Mr. Hislop rather gave up on him. He made one of those little stools, or David was making one of those little stools, you know, that have the crisscross bits on them, a little stool. And I think most of it was Mr. Hislop's work. And we had a little laugh and a joke. That's right. Let me know when you're in my neck of the woods, Billy. Otherwise, I'll come over to your neck of the woods and I'll come and haunt you. You know, people think it really strange when I go to other parts of the island because I live in Ryde and I don't have a car. If I go over to Ventnor or if I go to Freshwater, I mean, I go to the dentist in Freshwater and people think that's wow. I mean, it's for anybody not on the island. Our island's only 26 miles one way and 14 miles the other way, but some people who live here think that I've gone to the end of the earth if I go to Freshwater, especially if I go on the bus. I mean, it does take me probably the best part of an hour, but I have my knitting, I have fun, I have banter on the bus, and I regard it as an adventure. It'd be a bit boring going in a car because I wouldn't have anybody to chat to. So, you know, and I wouldn't be able to do my knitting either. So people, but I do come over to Ventnor sometimes. It is Ventnor, isn't it, you're in, Billy? So I will be venturing over to Ventnor sometime soon. Anyway, why don't I dip into just before we finish, because I've been on here. Something else that came up tonight that reminded me of my dad, and I've just written a note down here. I must mention this because it's in the laughter. It comes under laughter's the best medicine, and my brother and I were reminiscing. Hi, Ryan. And we were reminiscing about somebody tonight at the craft evening was talking about Open University, and our dad did an Open University degree when we were in our teens, I think. Excuse me, I just need a drink. And he was doing a science degree through the Open University, and yes, Billy, and so he was doing something, he had to do something about fruit flies. And he had to put something in some jam jars out in the garden. We had a very big garden. Well, around that, I mean, we are a family of practical jokers anyway. And I think you might have gathered that by now. And hi, Hayley. And so, you know, he had to keep going and inspecting these jam jars. I can't remember the full details. I mean, this is a long time ago. I'm 67 now. This was when I was in my teens, so it's a long time to remember. But we, at the time, the TCP advert had, in the magazines, had some huge pictures of bees and flies and all sorts of things like that. So we cut them out of the magazine and we went and pinned them on the bushes in the gardens where his experiment was happening. And he saw the joke. He got the funny side of it, you know, because well, we get our sense of humour from him anyway. So, but you know, we were reminiscing, my brother and I, over that, and you know, we get such happy memories from our dad, who, you know, isn't with us anymore. But you know, every day there's some memory of him, or several memories, mostly daily. And then my brother also referred to another experiment he did. And my first husband was a smoker. And my dad was doing some sort of experiment about pollution. And my husband blew his smoke into my dad's experiment. So I don't think it worked out very well. And I think my dad realised what had happened. But also, my ex-husband, he also... there was another experiment Dad was doing, and it was on a spring. A spring weight. It was a weighing something down on one of those spring weight things. And every time my ex-husband went by, he gave it a whack. So I don't think that one worked out very well. Very naughty, my ex. You know, he did have a wicked sense of humour. Sadly, he's not with us any longer. But I think my children have also inherited some of the sense of humour from their dad. So we did, although we divorced in the end, we had a lot of fun and a lot of laughter. So anyway, as I say, laughter is the best medicine. Whatever happens to you in life, look for the fun, look for the good things, look for whatever you can. Think how lucky you are. Always look on the bright side. That's the title of my book here. Now this one, oh, I like this one. This one, every cloud has a silver lining, and on the back of it, it says, good advice for testing times. And never mind that your favourite jeans don't quite fit anymore. Your mother-in-law has decided to stay another week and the local pub has stopped karaoke night. Every cloud has a silver lining. Here's a book packed with uplifting quotations to help you look on the bright side. And at the top of the back of the cover, it says, if you're already walking on thin ice, you might as well dance. And, I bought this. I did have a cloud going on slightly earlier in the day. I won't let it, Dad said never let it spoil your pretty little face. So I sort of have to deal with it. But, it takes me sometimes a little while to deal with it. And so this book was, the silver lining of, my day being a bit more difficult. Actually, it looks blue on the screen, but it's actually a grey book. How interesting is that? So anyway... it says, if you don't get everything you want, think of the things that you don't get that you don't want. That's an Oscar Wilde one. But I'm not. Storms make oaks take deeper roots. A certain amount of opposition is a great help to a man. And probably a woman. Kites rise against and not with the wind, and that's John Neal. And, Louis, this one, I'm not afraid of storms, for I'm learning how to sail my ship. And that was Louisa May Alcott. Anyway, I'm not going to read all of these because I'm going to save these for another day. And the other book I bought was The Little Book of Resilience. And it says, life's journey isn't always a stroll in the sunshine, but there are ways of weathering the storm. This pocket-sized book of heartening quotations and simple but effective tips will help you to summon your inner reserves and bounce back from adversity stronger than ever. And hi, Andrea just coming in and Hayley just coming in there at the end. We've been having a fun hour all about, just got on an hour, all about laughter. That's it, work hard and be nice to people. You can't go wrong, can you, Billy, with that sort of advice? And so that's what I try to do. I hope, Anthony Boer, okay, I hope that you've had some value. This one, when you come to a roadblock, take a detour, Mary Kay Ash. And then however long the night, the dawn will break. And that's an African proverb. But I'm going to save a lot of these for another day. Because, if I read them all now, there won't be anything left to read. And I have taken an hour of your time. I hope it's been some benefit from you. I hope you've enjoyed the jokes and the laughter. Do please send me any jokes in my inbox so that I can put them back in, so that we can fill up the medicine tin again. Because, we want more fun and laughter. We don't want the same jokes coming out again and again. So please do send me some more jokes. I've got some more. Mo sent me another one. I think Tina sent me another one. There's more to go in there next time. And, just I don't think... I'm just going to show you. My brother has been doing some sorting out, and he found a picture of me. I don't know if you can see that. That was many, many, many moons ago. But, lots of happy memories since then. Lots of memories. This was taken, I think, when I was running my nursery school, when I first started running my nursery school way back when. And I just thought, oh, he's been doing some sorting out. Don't know how it got there. it was before I got a lot of biffs and blows, but never mind, I've survived this long. So, you know, the curveballs keep coming, but we'll keep getting rid of them. So on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. I thank you so much for coming into my broadcast. I love having you here. And I hope that you've had fun as well. So share the broadcast if you felt that it will give anybody else a bit of a laugh and a giggle. And I hope to see you again soon. I should be live again tomorrow night at 10, God willing. Have a lovely day and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye for now.